I think when everyone started, let's sort out the issues with self-isolation so people don't, have got food.
Everyone plays their part and we all work together to achieve the same common goal, which is to alleviate food poverty and help as many local people as possible.
I think it's about 30 volunteers week on, week out, and out of a core maybe of sort of 50 plus volunteers.
We do different shifts, so we start off on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock when we unpack all the goods that have been delivered on the Friday. On Friday evening we sort out bags, so we have what we call specials bag, which are for people who have special dietary requirements. So we have Muslim halal people, we have people who have got diabetes, we have some people who are homeless who can't take things that they can't cook. And then on a Saturday, basically we open the doors to the community centre. So currently we have about 150 guests. About half of those we deliver to, either by car or by foot, and then the other half come through the door and they collect their own bags.
So I'm the Friday evening lead. We normally have a group of 4 to 5 volunteers. I train them on their roles and how to pack each bag. We do the main food bag, which is non-perishables, and then we do fresh fruit and veg bags.
I think everyone's very local, and it's really helped people feel like they're part of the community and helping others in their community.
If there's any positives that have come out of COVID, it's definitely that resurgence of community spirit.
And lots of volunteers worked from home, weren't seeing anyone during the week, and this was their one social interaction. And yeah, likewise with the guests who come along. And I mean, you saw the queue this morning.
For a lot of us, I think it was, a bit of a lifeline during lockdown. I can see live people today rather than just on a call. I think that was a big, important thing for many of us as well. And then we've maintained the momentum.
Some of our volunteers, they like to be sort of guest facing, so meet our guests and things.
So I just joined this morning and just did some walk-in deliveries. It's really nice actually to do something kind of rewarding, to give back to the community. And we've got a bit more time on my hands now, so it means it's just nice to give that hour in the morning.
Because some of our guests cannot come here.
Morning!
Many of those guests are pitting and can't leave the house, so it's the personal interaction is just as important as the receiving the food.
For 15 months I've been locked away, like most of us who've been isolated. The food has been fantastic, basic, good things that you need. And in fact, the very good thing about it is I've had to cook. I think as you get older you don't particularly want to start chopping vegetables, but it has made me do that, which is a positive thing, I think. Don't you think?
Originally at that time it was Food Cycle was also part of the project, so I sort of joined in the midst of when they were cooking food as well as giving food bags.
The Food Cycle is a separate charity, and it delivers lunches to up to about 60 people sitting down from food that would otherwise be thrown away by the big London supermarkets. With lockdown, we couldn't have a sit-down meal, but it is apparent immediately that there is more need, and the local mutual aid groups have been amazing.
When they asked for volunteers up at St Cuthbert's, I went along on a Friday or a Saturday, gradually got more and more involved, then ended up chairing the steering committee.
Eventually, when I had to open up the church for worship again, we were looking for somewhere local, and Sidings seemed to be the obvious place. Supported by Camden, people know where it was.
We had a Zoom call, a few of us, before we started it, around July last year, talking about could we make the jump from the church to here. At the end of it we said, look, let's aim for 50 to 70 people. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we've tried to do our best, and we shouldn't not do it in case we're too afraid it will fail. And Sue was fantastic here in Sidings. And it worked pretty quickly, and we typically get over 100 people, 120 people each week, which is much more than we ever thought we'd be dealing with.
So I was a volunteer when it was over at St Cuthbert's Church, and then a job opened up. They managed to get a grant, and it just grew, because obviously we then went into another lockdown in November. Each food parcel cost the equivalent of £8–9. If we didn't have Felix support, that would be £8–9 times 160 that we need to raise each week. But we're really lucky, and then we get community donations of actual food. Sadly, not nearly enough for the amount of bags we have. And of course, Felix Project give a lot of fresh fruit and veg. We did a little survey. Fruit and veg was the number one thing that everyone wanted, and we're really lucky because we can give quite generous fruit and veg bags.
The Food Hub's been just an amazing example of a real community partnership. Its roots lay in the community from its early days, food cycle, St Cuthbert's, and then the sort of local shops that agreed, like little Waitrose that agreed to be a delivery drop-off, and now Paramount estate agents and various other shops that also give us their leftover food at the end of the day. It's just been absolutely amazing.
So our office is just at the end of Iverson Road, so it was a natural sort of shoe-in for us. So when people leave a flat, or 2 months before, we drop a bag in, Paramount pantry bag, and they can fill that with items that they don't want to move with, and then we collect those items from the property.
It's all people who didn't know each other, wouldn't have met each other if it weren't for this. And to be honest, if it weren't for lockdown, because this wouldn't have started and wouldn't have happened. And it's so sad that it's needed, but so many lovely things have come out of it.
The response that we've had from the community, either for regular or one-off donations, not just in terms of money, but in terms of gifts. So we ran a special campaign at Christmas. So for instance, Paramount gave £10 chalk vouchers for children's books, but then they were to be spent at West Hampstead Bookshop. And then there was this wonderful conversation started with adults about books, and that was a great leveller, and people just came in and talked about books together.
And we've been talking about a book exchange and adding more services. We had a big donation of books from Danny at West End Lane. A lot of our guests bring books actually as well, which is brilliant. But the fun thing for me has been the kids. I mean, there's been so many of them come in really excited and take away 3 or 4 books and come back and tell you what it's like the next week, and that was lovely, definitely. If I had my best life, I would work in a bookshop, I think. So this is the next best thing for me.
Before I was actually volunteering here, I actually volunteered at a youth centre called the Hive, which is based on Finchley Road. Then it actually became a paid role where I would train young people aged 16 to 24 to become tour guides. That really helped me to train other people here, because I already had that experience of how to coach people, being by their side and working together as a team to achieve a main goal.
The community also, as well as having residents, also has people who are entrepreneurs and work in various business sectors. And the wonderful Jamal, I hope you don't mind me mentioning your name, it enabled us to get best quality produce for the best value, but it was also through somebody locally. So then helping the business, a new business that was starting up as another response to lockdown. So it is very much about a sort of whole coming together of the community, both to donate goods and time and skills, goodwill. I can only say well done to all those involved in the Food Hub. That was very rich. This was very richly deserved.
The need is going to change, and what we can do is going to change. But I can't see the need for the food bank to go away for a long time yet.
It's been a really humbling but learning curve. That's where the collectiveness of the volunteers, it's like almost becoming a bit of a movement in let's do something, we can all give up a bit of time.
We're always welcoming new volunteers, we're always welcoming donations and any new ideas, we'd love to hear from you.